Welcome to another episode of Third Shot Podcast. As always, we would love for you to support us on social media. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook, as well as YouTube at Third Shot Podcast. We're also on X at Third Shot Pod. And last week, Uncle Greg and Russ had me laughing so hard I was crying. So we'll see what's in store for this intro this week. But let's grab our glasses. We'll do another toast to Third Shot.
Cheers. The drinks might help you gain crying and tears with laughter.
Maybe that's what was doing it. I don't know.
It
Y'all
doesn't
have me
hurt.
dying.
Well, I'm having caffeine here, so I'll be ready to. It'll bring the funny.
All right.
Bring the funny faster, maybe.
I
We'll
should
see.
put some like tissues underneath my laptop or something just so I'm
You should
prepared.
just be ready.
Yeah.
Hey Russ, I never asked you this before, but you used to be a DJ on the radio. Was there ever a time when you were on the radio and you just like lost it? Like where you just started laughing or you just forgot what you're gonna say? Or is there ever a time like that?
Um, I don't believe so. I think I was always I always tried to get a little more ready, um, as ready as I could. There was one time that I fell asleep.
Oh
Oh
no.
my gosh.
Yeah, I was working at a jazz station and I put on this John Coltrane song, and an intentionally long Coltrane song because I was on overnights. And listening to jazz at 2 in the morning, like, come on, you're gonna not be well. So I put this thing on, and we were using records back then. So I woke up to,
How long do you think it was dead air?
I don't know, too long.
That's so
It was,
funny.
I mean, it was
Jazz is
minutes.
so soothing. I mean,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
could
And
they
I
blame
was,
you?
I was going to school and, like also working at, and then doing the radio. So I was up late and yeah, I don't think I slept before that. So I was, yeah, I was
Well,
sleeping.
you've had an amazing background in music because you worked at a radio station. You kind of did a lot of different roles within this. You were a DJ, plus you were a producer. I don't know if you want to drop any names, but you were a producer.
Did that,
You
right?
did
Right.
sales. You did promotions. You were into the concerts. I mean, that must have been cool.
Yeah, the concerts were a lot of fun. Because we got basically really good seats. We're backstage access. I don't know if I feel like I've told this story on one of the podcasts, but one time we're doing this event and I'm on the side of the stage chatting with this person, great guy. We're just, chopping it up and talking about whatever. And the morning show host is on the stage about to introduce the act. And I'm talking to this guy, and then the morning show guy goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chris Isaac." And he goes, "Oh, excuse me, I gotta go." Isaac. Oh, well, he's a cool guy. You think I would have known, but he just does the t-shirt and jeans, and I actually thought he was like one of the backstage people because he was in a black t-shirt and black jeans. It's like that's what you
That's
wear.
funny.
That's the uniform. But yeah,
Who's Chris Isaac?
Chris Isaac, "Wicked Game" was the big song that he had,
Oh,
And you had a
and
television show as well, right?
yeah, he was in a couple of movies, and I think a television show, and he does a couple of songs. He's just like more of like a San Francisco kind of like in San Francisco. We know him a little bit more because he's got some songs about San Francisco as well.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
those play on the local radio stations. But yeah, it was an oopsie. What do you do?
So after all those years of being like kind of in the music industry, do you have a favorite genre of music or like top two?
Well, okay, so then I went into DJing, right? And DJing, you're playing whatever people want to hear at that particular event, whatever's going to get them on the dance floor, right? So I would play a little bit of everything, and it got to the point of where you're listening to music and you're like, oh, this music or this song would seg nicely into that song, or this would work well with that. So it's sort of like your mind gets into work mode, when you're
Mm.
listening to music. So I stopped listening to a lot of music for a while, and I was like, if I listen to it, I'm going to think about the gig. I'm gonna reminisce about a gig, or I'm gonna think about a future gig, or I'm gonna figure out like how to blend this in with other music. So I never got requests for country music, so I started listening to country music. So my two favorite genres right now are jazz and country. Jazz, because hey, clearly, but country is fun because it's just something different that nobody typically requests. So it's easy to listen to because I never had to think about it.
You've probably listened to what, thousands and thousands of songs?
Yeah, yeah.
I
I've
mean, you
been
probably own thousands and thousands of songs. I mean,
yeah, I've got a hard drive of that's pretty impressive in a I don't know yeah, a lot of music, a lot of music.
okay. So I'm gonna put you to the test.
Okay.
All the songs that you have in that hard drive, if you had to pick one song to be Bridgie's walk-up music for our next tournament, what would it be?
Oh well, you got to fire up the crowd
Yes.
for
And you
right.
gotta fire
So
Bridgie up, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So
and because it's Bridgie and I'm gonna go with that song. All I do is win, 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 no matter what.
Oh,
Right? You know that
yes. I
song?
know
All
that
I do
one.
is
Yep.
win, win, win. Yeah, that song. We got to go. We got to go with that one. I think.
I like it.
That's a
Yeah,
good
right.
one.
I
Hype
like it.
hype people up, get you excited,
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
them excited. And of course, you're setting an expectation. You got to win.
I know. I was going to say no pressure
Just saying it
after
right there.
listening to
But
that.
I mean, we've talked on the show before about how you got to like, put up the game a little bit, right? So that I think that song would do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I
Speak it
think it'll
into it.
intimidate your opponent.
Right.
Yeah. They're like,
Right.
oh, shoot, she must be good.
Yeah. She's got her own walk-up music. So I remember one time, Bridgie, when we were playing kickball, that we brought the speakers to the field and we
Yes.
had walk-up music to our kickball game, and that was pretty fun.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That was super fun. And I think we probably downloaded those off of LimeWire or something.
probably. Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
tell on us.
Oh, LimeWire.
So what would Uncle's walkout song be then?
Oh,
Uh,
geez.
uh,
Maybe Eat It, Weird Al Yankovic.
ah, perfect. And that's like double entendre because the food, obviously everybody knows I love to eat, but I could just
Yes.
totally eat it on the court too.
That's what I was thinking was the food.
Oh no, I'm thinking about after. Like you're gonna eat before, you're gonna eat after. Yeah,
During maybe.
that would.
It's funny because it's funny you said that, and I had no idea you're gonna pick that song. But I was just talking to my wife last night about an upcoming day that I'm playing all day, and said, "Yeah, you gotta pack me some spam masuvis. You gotta."
Right. I
We're
mean,
talking about all the snacks I'm gonna bring.
no matter what it is, it's about the food for you. Like it doesn't matter what, like, like what's the food gonna be?
Now I'm in tears, Bridgie. Oh
See, it's
no.
contagious. So the tournament that we did back in San Ramon like a year ago,
Oh
I
yeah.
think it was now. Uncle was asking me, so what kind of snacks should we bring with us to the tournament? I was like, I didn't even
So
think
cool.
about bringing snacks. And he says, Auntie makes these really good hard boiled, like marinated eggs. Would you like some of those? I was like, yeah.
That's gonna be on my list for the upcoming day.
Yes, that's a
Nice.
good request.
Nice.
Oh no. You guys outed me.
There's the tears.
I mean, come on. We've talked about food enough on this show where I think
But
people know.
now it's attached to the song that I'm gonna play. While now, next time I drive to the court, I'm gonna be playing "Eat It." Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
better be blasting it.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
man.
Oh yeah. Not the
Well,
worst song. I mean, I could have gone like, what is the I'm just Ken, I mean, I could have
oh
gone
no,
totally messed with you there.
that would have been current though. Very
Yeah, right?
very
Right.
current. Yeah.
That would be pretty funny to come out to though.
Yeah.
Right? Like, but you'd have to do the whole like dress thing, kind of like they
Well,
did on
I'd
the
have to wear
Oscars, right?
pink,
Like,
right?
what's that?
Yeah,
I'd have to wear pink.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You come out.
with the
Make it, make
visor.
it, make it
Maybe
could
you could
work.
bleach your hair a little bit.
Right.
Just the tips, right? Just the
Yeah.
tips.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
Yeah.
tips.
that was a thing for a minute, right?
Yeah.
It was, yeah, the frosted
totally.
tips.
Well, speaking of music, we have somebody that is just an amazing person that in the pickleball world, but he didn't start in the pickleball world, he started in the music world. So when we come back, we have Gordon Gebert, and you will be just amazed at this gentleman's background. So come on back and meet with Gordon. Welcome back from break. We really appreciate you hanging out with us for that short little time. It allows us to kind of bring in our guests and, of course, some more drinks. So thank you for hanging out. We have a very, very special guest that's joining us today. I don't even know where to start with all the accolades that Mr. Gordon Gebert has in his background, but he's got the rock and roll background. He's got the NPL going on. We got the Slam Master. We got what? Oh, the Pickleball Television Network. Very, very exciting addition. Plus all the travel he's doing for pickleball. We're going to get into all of this. I just lost my breath, but welcome, Gordon, to the Third Shot podcast.
Thank you, Uncle Greg and Bridgie, and thank you to Russ there for the beginning of the show. Awesome.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us. We were super excited to hear all about everything that has been going on in your life,
Wow.
especially the pickleball piece. But before we get into it, we're going to do our second shot of the show.
Little tradition here. Cheers, Gordon.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. I'm
Yummy.
going lightweight with the Corona, so.
That's
Yeah.
all right.
You're pacing yourself.
I was going to ask, how old's Bridgie?
I'm 32, so I'm definitely of drinking age.
Yeah, you look so young. I said, I don't know if you're
Oh,
drinking
thank
age.
you. You are my favorite, but I'm actually I don't drink most of the time. I don't really care for alcohol, but I've got some delicious green tea that I'm having.
Yeah, I'm the same thing. I'm a teetotaler. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm only 19, but I'm drinking Jack Daniels
The
tonight.
hard
So.
stuff,
Yeah,
right?
make up for everybody. Very
I just
cool.
look old for my age. I'm only 19. So, and somehow I'm Bridget's uncle at the same time. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
I'm in denial, so.
Well, Gordon, as I mentioned before, we are here to hear about pickleball, but also you have a very amazing and fun history in the music industry. So, if you could share with our audience, can you tell us about all the amazing bands that you've been able to play with, and just share with us some of those fun stories?
What's really fun, I didn't make up this moniker. It's one of my neighbors did, and he's a real cool guy. I'm a retired rock star. I'm retired, so I'm not playing anymore. But I play with the most famous bands in the world. I've toured the world many times over, and I'm most known for working with Ace Frehley for years. I played with Marty Ballin from Jefferson Starship. See, I'm going to mention all this stuff that Bridgie doesn't even know. She's too young to even know
No,
those
she
bands.
knows.
No,
She
you guys
knows.
are, yeah, icons. I
Yeah,
definitely know what you're talking about.
Her
so
parents are Deadheads and Beatle fans, so she
yeah,
knows
here you
all.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she knows
So
all of it.
I mean, I got a long list of people I've worked with. I worked with Liberty DeVito from Billy Joel's band. I worked with Motley Crue. I worked with, this is why I say what a lot. I'm very deaf. So, I could go on and on with all the bands I played, but I toured the world. I've been around the world many times over. And people ask me, what's the most unusual place I've been? And I've actually been to the North Pole. I actually,
Oh,
yeah, I actually performed for the troops, our military, up in Greenland with Donna Summer's band. So
Whoa.
yeah, so we went and entertained the troops up there, which was really cool. And I was 20 years old at the time. It was like 1981, yeah, something like that. Then 1980, I think it was 21. I'm really showing my age here. So So if you have any questions about all the crazy antics that I've survived, go for it.
Well, who are you playing with up in the North Pole? Or
It was
Donna
Donna
Summer?
Summer.
That was
We were
Donna
at the
Summer. Was there anybody else that was at that tour with you guys?
No, we were just entertaining the troops there. So we went
Okay.
up to the DEW line, the daily early warning line. I don't know, you really look that up, and that was 6 bases along Greenland that monitored Russia if we were ever getting attacked from Russia during the Cold War, and they would go over the North Pole to attack us.
Oh
So
man.
I was up there, and I so all the military stuff there. It was really cool, and back then I saluted the military back then. And what's really wild, we did USO shows. I meet people in the military and I thank them for their service. And and they asked me if I was involved with the service. I said, well, I did USO shows. And they would shake my hand and say, thank you for your service. Because,
That's
we needed you to entertain us. And I know, it's not what they do. They sacrifice a lot more. But, they thanked me for what I did for them, which was really cool. But that was only a small part of my history. I mean, I've worked on many albums, live stuff, jams, and all kinds of really cool musicians I played with in my life.
What one concert sticks out that you totally remember for whatever reason?
There's a couple, but I loved Sweden rock. We played. I played with a band called Angel, and they were on Casablanca Records along with Kiss, and I was the keyboard player for Angel, and it was very keyboard oriented band. And Sweden rock was we played with Dee Snider from Twisted Sister. Yeah, I grew up with Dee. Yeah, I used to go see Twisted Sister in little clubs and stuff like that. And we ended up playing this big giant show in Sweden, and it was called Sweden Rock, just a sea of people. And I did a couple other concerts like that where there's a sea of people, and everybody goes, "Do you get nervous?" I go, "No, I get nervous when I'm in the studio and I got 2 eyes looking over me playing something." But when there's a sea of people and entertaining, I loved it. I ate it up, and I really miss performing. I really do.
Gosh, you must be so talented. As a kid, when did you even start playing before you started going on tour? What got you into music?
I started late. I always loved music, but growing up in high school, I was 15 years old, and a guy gave me an organ. A little. He gave. I looked at it at some party. I was playing on this organ there, and the guy goes, you like this, and that." And the next day he showed up and gave me the organ. He bought a new one. He gave me the
Oh,
old one,
cool.
and I just started playing by ear. And I was figuring out stuff from my favorite band was Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Bridgie, you're not going to know it. And Deep Purple. I was into that. I was into keyboard stuff.
Yeah.
And then all my friends were into Kiss, and which was really weird. I didn't even like Kiss. I shouldn't say that publicly. I do. I admit everything. I'm very upfront with everything. And I ended up working with Ace Frehley and being best friends with Ace for like 10 years. And Kiss fans would think, I was a big Kiss fan. I go, nah, I was into ELP, Genesis, and progressive rock. I appreciate Kiss now more than I did back then. I was kind of a music snob because I was into more intricate music. Like Yes, I loved Yes. Uncle Greg will know that stuff.
I do know, yes. And you mentioned
Yep.
Genesis, and Phil Collins is one of my favorites. Did you
Yep.
ever get to play with Phil, or?
I never got to play with Phil, but Phil he lived in my area near North Stamford in Connecticut. Yeah. And I have friends that, they're really close and stuff. The music business was so incestuous. You would mention one guy and you played with another guy. You're always connected with everybody somehow, so. Phil, I never got to play with, no, but awesome musician, awesome drummer. I played with the best drummers in the world, though. I was really spoiled, but I blame them for my hearing problems, my tinnitus.
Well, who would you say are the top 2 drummers in the world, in your opinion?
I love Carl Palmer from Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Liberty DeVito, I worked with, fantastic drummer. He played with Billy Joel for like 20-something years. And I ended up in the studio with Liberty, and he actually turned to me and said, "You're a better keyboard player than Billy Joel." And I said, "My bank account doesn't match his." So,
Well, when
and then
someone
I
can
played
tell
with,
you you're a better keyboard player than the piano man, that's saying something.
Yeah, that was cool to hear it from him. I said, you got to put it on tape. So,
Yeah, repeat it for us, please.
yeah, repeat it for us. Yeah. And like I was doing to Uncle Greg, I was shelling out more money as the credits were rolling. Anton Fig, he played with David Letterman band. You know, I don't know if you remember the David Letterman
Yes.
show. And Anton Fig was the drummer there, and I was really good friends with Anton, a great drummer. I just played with the best drummers in the world, and it kind of spoiled me because whenever I got to jam with like a local band, and you know, it was like a drummer just playing with a local, and he thought he was great, and I was like, it was like nails on a blackboard to me because I played with the best drummers in the world. Terrible, got spoiled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how fun. And I'm sure you have like tons more stories, but we appreciate you sharing that bit with us.
Yeah.
At what point did you decide, okay, I'm done with the rock and roll lifestyle. Now I'm switching to pickleball? How the heck did that happen?
Well, it happened, unbelievable. I'd still be playing to this day if it wasn't for tinnitus. I don't know if you're familiar with it. I have ringing in the ears really bad. And it's 24/7 forever, the rest of my life. And my last show is about, I keep always getting, as it goes farther away. My last show was in Mexico City with my best friend, Mike Ciato. He's a drummer. He played with Jefferson Starship, and there's my buddy. So Mike Ciato and I went down to Mexico City, and we were playing a Kiss show, a Kiss Expo show. And I got off stage. I was wearing earplugs, and I was wearing Smith & Wesson gun protectors on my ears. That's how bad the ringing was. And then I went to the dressing room, and I said, that's my last show. Sorry, I can't perform live anymore. It was terrible. It's a downer, but it's okay. So now my brother introduced me to pickleball. So to keep me out of trouble.
So when was that?
That was about 5-6 years ago. And that was down, he's down in Port St. Lucie. My mom was down there, and he was taking care of my mom. So I would go down there for her birthday and, Christmas and stuff like that. So one year I go down, and my brother goes, are you ready? We're going to go. He'll always drag me out to the golf course. And I was Happy Gilmore on the golf course. It was terrible. And he would drag me and he goes, we're going to go play pickleball. I go, what? And he goes, yeah, we're going to play pickleball. I go, what? And close your ears. What the F is pickleball? I said it like that. And he goes, you'll see. And he brought me onto the court with a bunch of other guys. And I look back at that. I can imagine what these guys thought of me going on the court and knowing nothing. And my brother goes, he's good. He's athletic, but I was awful, obviously. I didn't know the rules. I didn't know the kitchen and, all that stuff. I caught on quick, but not quick enough to get, these guys are crushing the hell out of me, making a joke out of me. So I came back to Connecticut and I Googled pickleball. And I said, all right, I'm trying to find pickleball up here in Connecticut. And I found a woman named Betsy Underhill. And she was giving lessons, pickleball lessons. So I went and made an appointment with Betsy. And I said, Betsy, teach me pickleball. And she goes, yeah, I'll teach you pickleball. And, she's doing lax. I go, no, teach me pickleball. And she goes, you sound like you're on a mission. I go, yeah, teach me so I could go down and kick my brother's ass down in Florida. So she taught me pickleball, and I started playing. And then like a couple of months later, I went back down to Florida, played with a bunch of guys, and my brother goes, oh, you got a little better. So.
Well, I mean, I know you're a modest guy, but you're a very accomplished pickleball player now. I mean, 5 years later, you've really made a name for yourself playing.
I got to pay Greg for all the accolades.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. I should actually retire from pickleball because I reached my peak. I got to play with Colin Johns and against Colin Johns. You can't get any better than that. So,
wow. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it was awesome. So there's the Rossetti brothers. Oh, I gotta put this on real quick.
Okay.
So that's Pickleball Television Network, and that's the Rossetti brothers playing right there. They played the championship of the MPL. We'll get to that in a second too. Okay. I know I'm talking fast. I'm trying to fill everything in for you guys, all the info.
It's so much
Um,
information. That's the crazy thing.
yeah, so the Rossetti brothers brought in Colin Johns to do a clinic, a pickleball clinic. And the Angelo Rossetti calls me up and says, we got Colin Johns coming to do a clinic and everything. He said, can Colin stay at your house? I go, yeah, I got room. I got a big house. Yeah. And I said, yeah, that'd be cool. And I met Colin out in California, but it was at another PPR event. And when you meet people at these big events, you don't remember people, because I know being in the rock and roll world, I've signed so many autographs and everything. I met so many people. And I'd have somebody come up to me and go, remember that concert you did in Detroit? I was in the third row. You remember seeing me? Yeah. So same thing with pickleball. So, but Colin came and stayed at my house, and we did. And I actually am PPR and IPTPA certified coach, and ended up teaching a clinic with him. And then I said, Colin, you owe me games. We got to play. And the last day we got together and we played. It's on video, so it was really cool. Yeah.
He is one of the best. I mean,
He's,
talk about
he,
strategist and how he plays the game.
he's number one, not Ben. Colin's the number one doubles player. So Colin's rated, a touch higher than Ben, but that's how Ben's got the name and the star power, so to speak, and Colin's fine with it. I even asked Colin about it because when he came to my house, he saw platinum album on the wall. He didn't know what I was about. He didn't know I was an ex
Oh,
rock
really?
star.
He didn't know
Yeah,
anything about you. Oh,
he didn't know anything about me. So, and then he came to my house and he goes, "Oh my God, I got to tell my dad I met the guy that played with the guys from Kiss." I said, "Tell my dad." I go, "Thanks."
But you held your own on the court with him, so he
Yeah,
gave
and
you pickleball respect as well too. So that's
he
awesome.
did.
That's
He
awesome.
did.
So
So yeah, Colin.
talk a little bit.
Yeah.
You mentioned the NPL, right? National Pickleball League. Talk a little bit. I mean, you're the founder. I mean, we're talking to the founder of the NPL. How did that all happen?
So, well, we should back up in order, but that's all right.
Okay.
We'll talk about NPL.
Yeah, back
So,
it up.
in pickleball, I invented the Slam Master, the pickleball training paddle. So
Yes.
it's a ball attached with a cord, and it gets all your eye-hand coordination. So about three years ago, I invented this paddle, and I trained with it. And now I'm up to like 9,000, 10,000 units as Slam Master sold. Even the Shark Tank guys got in touch with me. It takes a year to get on Shark Tank.
Were you on Shark Tank?
No, it's still in the works for me to go on there. I don't even know if I want to go on yet. If they take the product serious enough. Right. So I invented that paddle and I did really, really well, and that's how I got good. With how good I got on the court. If you look you probably did your homework, saw some of my games on YouTube and everything. My hands are super fast, but just because my hands are fast, I could slow down the game, and I hit late shots, and that's my trick. And I'm very deceptive on the court. So I invented the Slam Master, and then that was going along, and then I saw all these leagues coming out. And all the leagues so far that are out there, MLP, APP, PPA, all that stuff, they cater to the pros. So I came up with something. I said, instead of catering to the pros, why don't we cater to the average, ordinary pickleball player that's out there? Because if you go on a court and ask people, besides Ben Johns, because everybody's got his paddle, name some more pros, and they don't know. They can't name the top 10 players. They're just out there playing for fun, and so that's what the league is really geared towards. And what it is make your rec games count. You go on, and it's the official NPL. There is another NPL out there, and they do have to change their name. I came out with NPL first, National Pickleball League. And we're in litigation with that. They won't stop for some reason, being stubborn about it. I told them to call their league the Senior Pro National Pickleball League because they're all about senior pros.
Right.
And my league is just a national pickleball league for anybody to join, any skill level, any age. and you could join for free, and there's a paid version of it too. And there's so much info. If I'm talking too much, cut me off.
No, give
Yeah.
us
We
the
love to
info.
hear it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did the first season of MPL last year, and the first prize was a trip to Cuba. I ended up going to Cuba, and
Whoa.
a million prizes, lots of prizes, and everybody really enjoyed it. And we had over last year like 1,000 people playing in all different areas all over the United States. We're closing in on 1,400 members this year, and it's going to explode before we start the season in April. Next month, the official MPL starts. Yeah. So
Awesome. Well, congratulations. That's a
thank
huge
you.
number to have already.
Yeah, it would be much more if there wasn't that little distraction with the other league that's calling themselves MPL,
Yeah.
because I could have concentrated on more advertising and things like that. But it's such a battle with trademark and stuff like that.
What's the
But it's great.
format? What's the format of
Everybody
the
that's
league?
been in leagues loves it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, what's the format of the league?
Glad you asked. The format is, if the four of us go on a court, 1, 2, 3, and then we have a fourth person on the court, and we're all MPL members, and we're playing our little rec game, you put the score in after you play your game. So you keep track of all your rec games, you keep track of all your scores, and then you go into a ranking system in your state. So, and we do it by accumulated points. So the more you play, the more points you accumulate. And then the season runs April all the way to September. And then the top 16 players in each state play a state championship. And those two players go on to the final national championship. The format's really cool because we're individual players just trying to gain points, and it's all round robin. So you don't have to depend on a teammate, because I started this because I did do leagues, and I was with a teammate for like 6 weeks, 8 weeks. The guy was on vacation. We got COVID. There was all kinds of stuff going on. So it's hard to coordinate, and it got very confusing trying to coordinate team play and all that, partner play. So this is an individual play. You can stick with a partner, you could stick with a partner all throughout the whole season, but it's not mandated. So you're all, rotating. I think it shows talent when you could play with all different new partners in games, because you have to adjust. It's a bigger adjustment. Yeah. Hmm?
So are there different skill levels broken up in the league as well? Or am I going to have to get my butt kicked by like 4-0s?
So yeah, during the season, any skill level could play with any skill level as long as you agree on the court. Because I see a lot of people. I'm not a pickleball. I see pickleball snobs in like 4-0, 4-5, 5-0, and they won't play with people. They say, well, what's your duper rating? 3-0. No, I'm a 4-0. I don't want to go on the court with you. But as I was moving up in sort of talent or skill level, I was a 3-0 player. The only way you could advance is to play people above you. Because if I see people that stay at 3-0 and 3-5, and then they're crushing 3-0 and 3-5, and they don't move up. I learned as a 3-0, 3-5 player that all my shots were working. And then when I went to a 4-0 level, my shots weren't working. I was like, oh no, these guys are really good. And as you go up and up and up, certain shots do not work that you're used to beating up lower level players. So, all right. So to answer you with MPL, any skill level could play with any skill level, but as a 4-0 or 4-0 player beating up on 3-0s the whole season, bad strategy. Because then when you get into the playoffs, then you got to play people in your skill level, and you're going to be so rusty because you're playing lower level play, and you're going to get killed. Some guy unnamed, I won't name them, did that strategy, and they got crushed in state championships and stuff. Yeah.
So is there a 3-0, a 3-5, a 4-0, 4-5 state championship level? Like every
Yeah.
level has their own championship?
Yeah, this year we're going to break it up because we have the volume. Last year we mixed it because we didn't have the volume enough, you know. So this year, as we get to a state championship, we'll break it up into levels. Yeah, and gender and stuff like that. Yeah.
Nice.
How
Yeah.
cool. So for the listeners who may be interested in joining this league, what's the best way for them to kind of get some more information and sign up?
There you go. It's even on the back of the shirt. So
Ooh.
yeah. So and I have a square code. I say just hit the QR code there. They just go to that website usa-mpl.com, and then you could register for free. Yeah, and but if you do the paid version, you'll get swag like this really cool.
Very cool shirt.
I mean, is the logo big enough on the shirt?
Could be a little bigger.
And then we got the hat. We got the MPL hats. We got MPL bumper stickers. Stick them on your car. You know. Hey, I come from the world of Kiss. It's all promotion.
You gotta have it all. Yeah.
Yeah, swag. Yeah.
So earlier you had kind of you shifted your camera and showed us the television there, the Pickleball Television Network. Tell us what your involvement is, because this is exciting for you, right? This is cool.
So actually, here it's live. You know, that's the Pickleball Television Network night, and that's me presenting the MPL Championship belt. We had an MPL National Pickleball League Championship belt, and it was awarded to Angelo Rossetti. He actually won the whole season. He awesome player, and I'd say he got to play Colin John, and that's his twin brother, Ettore, Ettore, and he distinguishes himself with a mustache there, so they don't look completely alike. And so yeah, I became the Pickleball Television Network. We'll put the belt. Oh, we got the belt on here.
Nice.
So I became the Pickleball Television Network president, and I was offered that job this past November. And the full launch is this month was the full launch, and it's just linear. It's on Roku, it's on Apple TV, and it's on all Verizon based televisions. You look up Pickleball and you get the Pickleball Television Network, and then there's a website also. You could just click on the website if you don't have Roku or Apple TV or the Verizon, and you can watch all the programming on there. And I'm pretty much in charge of programming. And what I want to do is get not just games on there, all entertainment, anything, skits on pickleball, comedy, clinics, obviously, coach tips and stuff like that. So I'm going to aggregate the best that's on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and get the best people there, and then, broadcast it on the Pickleball Television Network. And I'd love to get your show on there too. That's
Hey, Bridget.
Wow, you heard that, listeners.
Yep.
Breaking news, everyone.
There you go. Yes.
Third Shot podcast on the on TV. We've made it. We're big time now. We made Pickleball Television Network.
Yeah.
We're definitely gonna have to work out the details on that. I love it. We can't wait.
Very cool. Yeah. Yeah, Bridgie.
I was gonna ask, so how did you become president of it? They just, realized that you're super awesome and love pickleball and wanted you to be the president. How did it go?
So I have to really thank Jeffrey Jagfeld, a guy named Jeffrey Jagfeld, and he was a pickleball coach here up in Connecticut. He in New Canaan, a really nice facility in New Canaan, Connecticut, and he called me one day. He was down in the Bronx. You'll hear my New York accent. You can make fun of it. I sound like Joe Pesci. I know. So Jeffrey calls me up and he says, "You got to come down to the Bronx, and these guys want to interview you." And I recommended you to these, two fellas. And I went down there. I didn't know what he was talking about. I didn't know I was going to be interviewed on video. And he just said, "Bring pickleball stuff. Bring all your pickleball stuff." I thought I was just going to play and talk to somebody. These guys, Jack Maraffi and Mike Wiles, sat me down and interviewed me, and they knew about the MPL, the official MPL, and they loved it. They loved the whole concept and everything. And they wanted to sign a contract with me to get all future NPL games onto this Pickleball Television Network that they were starting. And I said, yeah, I love it. And I said, give me more details and everything. About 2 weeks later, they called me up and said, we need another meeting with you. And I'm like, I'm thinking things are falling apart. I'm very negative. And I go to this meeting, and they sit me down, and it was a 3-hour meeting. And halfway through the meeting, they go, we want you to be the president of the Pickleball Television Network. And I was like, really? I said, are you sure you know who you're asking here? And they go, we know. We did our homework on you. And they knew my rock and roll background. They loved it. They loved my, all my experience with media and all that stuff. And they said, and they love what I did with pickleball. And they said, you have so much connections with everybody. And they were right. So, and it was really cool. I was honored, and I took the job of pickleball, president of the Pickleball Television Network. And it's going to be really cool. It's really building up. Yeah, really cool programming.
Well, congratulations. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they did pick the right guy to be their president, and thank you for making that offer to us. I mean, that's amazing. We would be very excited to obviously be on the network. Like, what are your plans? What do you see for the future this upcoming next 12 months for the network?
Well, I just came back from Finland. I've been traveling. I did Cuba, and then I went to Finland. And I just a couple of weeks ago. It was very cold. I actually went to a rock event to do a big signing, autograph signing, and things like that. I'm big in all the Scandinavian countries. I've been there many times. It was my 4th time going to Finland. Great fans. I love the fans there. And then I brought Phil Heyman with me, who's with PPR, and I found the pickleball guy in Helsinki. So I did a double dip. I said, I'll do this rock event, and then we'll teach clinics in Helsinki, Finland. And I met up with this guy, Tuomo. I can't pronounce his last name correctly. Tuomo was wonderful. He's the head pickleball guy in Helsinki, Finland. And he just introduced me to everybody. They loved it. We were pickleball rock stars, along with being a real rock star. It was really, really cool. So, and then Cuba was amazing also. We met so many people, all the kids. We met a lot of kids that were playing, and I donated all Slam Master products to them to help out the Cuban, the Cuban kids and everything, to get playing with pickleball and things like that. So there's a lot of traveling involved. I go down to Florida a lot. I got to mention, if I met Randy Sussman, he's awesome down in Florida. And then Maureen, Mo,
Mo.
introduced
Thank
us.
you, Mo, for introducing us.
Hot stuff pickleball, yeah.
Right.
And then Greg Storm, a shout out to Greg Storm. He's great. Knowing all these people, and it's really cool. I love the pickleball world. It's so interesting. And now I met you guys. You guys are wonderful. I love it.
Yeah, well, you're stuck with us now, because once you're a part of the Third Shot family, like, you're in.
That's right.
We only did one shot, right?
We did.
But you're in. You made it. You did it. You did it. We're in.
2 shots.
Well, let's take our 3rd shot. Reggie,
Yeah, let's do it.
raise the glass. Raise the glass. Gordon, thank you so much for coming on the show. Cheers.
That was good. Cheers.
Everything you have going on is amazing. I don't know how you keep up.
Yeah, I still got energy at this age. Like I said, I'm in denial.
That's okay. I love it. You do have great energy, and we super appreciate you taking time out of your very busy schedule to meet with us and to talk about pickleball, because we can't get enough of it. But also, we got a little extra this time with your rock and roll background too.
You guys are awesome. I love it. I love that he's your uncle and the niece, and you guys got great chemistry too. The show is awesome. I love it.
Thank you so much. Hey, before we let you go, hey, this is your opportunity. Plug whatever you want to plug. Talk about NPL, talk about the television network. Go for it.
I'll just go down the list. So first of all, with the Slam Master, go to slammasterpro.com, slammasterpro.com. Great training aid. It really is fantastic. You'll see it. You look it up on YouTube. You'll see all the great, you know, tips on how to really get your pickleball game. It really does help your pickleball game. It did. I was lucky and blessed to even invent that product. It's really cool. And then with MPL, just go to usa-mpl.com. Free to join, register there, and then get all your friends to join, and then make your rec games count. Just start putting your scores in, and then accumulate them, and then you never know what's going to happen. You could be I always say, a really talented pickleball player out there that could be really talented, and will shine a spotlight on them, so they could advance to pro level or whatever, or a great rec player or whatever, or just have fun. Yeah.
Right.
And then you have the Pickleball Television Network, which is pickleballtelevisionnetwork.com. And then you could, watch it right on the website. Here's Eva Welsher right here, because I had it running. It's running live right now on pickleballtelevisionnetwork.com. And here I am interviewing Eva Welsher. She was all wonderful, awesome. She's #1 female mix-up player. She's really good.
She's
Senior player.
amazing.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's got a fantastic game. My goodness, you got so much going on, and thank you so much for joining us again. This was so much fun, and we're going to be definitely talking, obviously, about the television in the future. So we really appreciate everything you're doing for the pickleball community.
Thank you so much, and thank you for letting me rattle on, trying to fill as much information in such a small amount of time. I really appreciate it, guys.
You got it. And we'll definitely have you back. And for everybody listening, thank you for joining us on Third Shot, where Bridgie and I will continue to share our pickleball journey. Special thanks to Gordon. I mean, he's the best. He's got so much going on. He gave you all the different sites and places to check him out. He didn't mention his own Instagram account, which I think is wonderful as well. He's posting stuff all the time, which is Gordon GG Gebert. So we got 3 G's in a row there. Don't miss a G, otherwise
Or,
4 G's total, which I thought was funny because Rick Barry, who's one of my long-term idols on the basketball court, he made the comment that you're the only person that has 4 G's in their Instagram account. So I love that.
yeah. And Rick's a great pickleball friend of mine. He's awesome. I love it. And he makes fun of my name all the time.
Rick is one of the best basketball players of all time. He was one of the top 50. He won a championship with the Golden State Warriors in 1975. I
Mhm.
had the pleasure of interviewing him when I was doing my golf radio show because he's an avid golfer. He was one of the senior long drive champions at one point. So anyway, Rick Barry, when I saw him on your Instagram account, I was like, oh, I gotta check this out. So anyway, that's really cool.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm trying to get all the sports celebrities and music celebrities and trying to get them to play pickleball. So, but Barry beat me to it. Rick Barry beat me to it for him.
But for all
Very
of
cool.
you listening, please go check out Gordon's Instagram account. He's got so much cool content on there. And you can keep supporting our show by subscribing. We promise to have more amazing guests just like Gordon in future episodes. So let's continue to share our enjoyment for the game and grow this pickleball community together. See you next time on Third Shot Podcast.